I'm sitting with R.L. Stine, which is a pretty big thrill. I mean, do you ever get sick of people telling you how much you meant to their childhoods?
Not yet.
Maybe now. We're at New York Comic Con, of course. And what's your Comic Con experience been like? Have you ever been to one of these before?
I do a lot of Comic Cons. I love Comic Cons. It's all people who grew up with Goosebumps, right? Yeah. They're all in their 20s and 30s, and there are thousands and thousands of them. And it's a wonderful experience for me, and I can just, if I'm doing a signing or something, I can sign for hours. There's so many people. I love it.
Obviously, this was not the first attempt to get a Goosebumps movie off the ground. I mean, has this been a really long, winding road for you to see a Goosebumps movie on the big screen finally?
Well, do you consider 23 years a long time? That's how long I've been doing the books. Yeah. It took 23 years. We actually had a contract to do a movie 20 years ago, and Tim Burton was going to be the producer, and no one could come up with a script that anybody liked.
Did you ever take a crack at the screenplay?
No, I don't. I just write books. Okay. Also, in those days, I was writing a Goosebumps book and a Fear Street book a month. Yeah, it was insane. You're right. I was writing 2 novels a month. I don't know how I did it now.
You don't keep up that pace now?
I don't think I could. I think just the exhilaration of having that kind of amazing success after writing for like 20 years, I think that's what kept me going. Now I don't know. I write 4 Goosebumps books a year and 2 Fear Street books a year and another project usually.
Yeah. Is there anything you remember about those movies? I mean, were you in the loop when they were developing those movies 20 years ago, the Tim Burton one specifically?
I remember scripts, a few, but then I just sort of forgot about it. You know, you don't sit and think. I had so many books to write and everything. You don't think, what's happening with the movie? Why isn't there a movie? I never thought about it. I didn't think about it for 15 years. And then one of the producers called me and said, we have a script we like, and you're a character in the movie. And that's the first time I thought about the movie again. I said, well, that's interesting. What are you talking about?
It must have been exciting to see that this was actually getting off the ground and that they were actually making it, but the surreal aspect to it, knowing that you're the main character.
It was. It was amazing. I thought, what are you thinking? Why? And then it turned out, that's what allowed them to get a good script, because they stopped thinking about which book should we do, which monster should we do to fill up a whole movie. Somebody had this great idea. I honestly wish I knew who, so I could credit the person that said, let's use them all, let's put all the monsters in. And once they did that, it just freed them up.
Now, how much did they consult you, if at all, during the screenplay and the pre-production?
Well, since I was a character in the film, I had control over how I was treated. So I got to see every script as it came along, because I had to see what they did with me and what I was like, and and that kind of thing. And then I got to make other suggestions about things since I was there, had the script.
Now, what was your first reaction, if you can recall it, to hearing that Jack Black was going to play you?
Well, I love Jack Black, and I was thrilled. But a lot of people on Twitter, I'm on Twitter all day, and a lot of people said, well, you should play yourself in the movie. Who could play you better than you? And I went to my wife, Jane, and I said, Jane, a lot of people think I should play myself in the movie. And she said, you're too old to play yourself.
Which is also surreal to hear that.
That's horrifying. And true, of course, to be too old to play yourself. But, so I was thrilled it was Jack.
And then did he come to you with any suggestions, or did he just kind of make it his own thing?
No, he flew into New York last winter in a blizzard and flew in to have lunch so he could, check me out and we could talk. And he would, look at me and try to figure everything out. And he said, well, what in the script is true about you? And I said, not a thing. There's nothing in the script that's true about me, He said, all right. He said, I'm going to play a sinister version of you. And that's what he decided. I said, sounds good.
And then when you finally first saw the final cut of the film, did you feel like it captured the spirit of what you were going for with the books?
Yes, because it has that combination. It's not a horror film. It's, it has horror and it has humor. It's that combination that I put in all the books, and they really captured that.
I know it's probably hard to choose, but and I'm sure you're asked it all the time. But what is your personal favorite story of yours that you've written?
Favorite Goosebumps story? It's tough. I guess The Haunted Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one.
Yeah. Do you ever go back and reread your stuff?
No. No. But occasionally I go back and look it over to see if what I'm doing now I've already done.
Right.
That's my big problem now, having written like 125 Goosebumps books, not to repeat myself. I've done every story you can possibly do, right?
Yeah, so where do you keep digging up these new ideas?
I don't know. I don't really look for ideas. I start with titles. I never think of ideas. If I get a title, then I can get a story to go with it. And I spend most of my time, trying to think of really good titles.
Is there anything that they didn't include in Goosebumps that you go, hey, why didn't they put that in there?
I don't know. I hope they save something for a sequel, right? We used everything in one movie and we're done. Rob insists that The Haunted Mask is in there, but I didn't see it.
You have to see it a couple more times, buy a couple tickets.
Well, I'm going to see it tonight, so we'll see again. But I didn't see The Haunted Mask. I think that's one thing that was left out. And, of course, there are all the newer ones that are, the new Goosebumps called Night of the Puppet People and had some very scary puppets in it. But all the new stuff isn't in. Dr. Maniac is a really good character, and they haven't done that either.
Not yet. If they asked you to consult on the sequel, would you be game for that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. And these were just good people. It was really fun to work with.
And finally, we heard you address this at the panel about a Fear Street movie. You contend that it's just rumors. Is there any truth to it?
It's rumors. I'm not allowed to talk about it. And this got leaked somehow, and let me just say, in all honesty and seriousness, there's no contract.
Okay.
There's no contract.
Would that be an exciting proposition if it turned out to be true for you to see that become a
I
film?
hope it turns out to be true. And I hope in a few weeks or something to be able to say, yes, right, we're doing a Fear Street movie, we're fine. But at this point, there's no contract. It shouldn't have been leaked. It's not news. It's just a rumor, really.
Yeah.